As I search for the white dove, I wonder if she searches for me. Or if my hopes of finding her are nothing more than an ill-conceived fantasy. You see... Salutations, mortals, and welcome to From the Jump. This is Oaken, your host, and I'm here today with none other than the traveling maniac himself, Malkovich. What's up, brother? What's happening, man?
What up, man? It's been a
Let
long time.
Let the people know who you
man.
are, for those that live under a rock somewhere.
It's been a long time, man. I haven't seen you since KL, right?
Yeah. KL was the last time we saw each other. That was 2017?
Probably, man. Amazing.
Yeah,
Time flying.
So just give the people a little intro of yourself. Just let them know who you are.
Well, I am a rapper who, until the world ended, was traveling the world for about 8 years, practically nonstop with one bag. And I had a project called One Bag. You can go on the internet and Google #1BAG and you'll find everything relating to my project. And I recorded a few albums. I did one in Namibia with Becoming Phil. I did one in Cambodia with Mute Speaker. I did one in Italy with Funk Prez. And I was living in Vietnam for the last 2 years. And then coronavirus appeared, and now I'm in LA riding it out.
And now, you know, the craziest thing is you're known on the internet. I mean, it's a tagline I also know you will by. The homeless traveling rapper. You know, that's how you're known. Now, let's just jump into that a little bit, because your creative journey actually spans different sections. It's not just like you say, yeah, you're a rapper, but before you became, or not before you became Malkovich the rapper, but you know, the intersections of your different creative aspects, or you know what I mean? Like, can we just go back to a bit about, you know, how you got to the point of being a writer at one point, you know, having your own PR agency, but also at the same time incorporating your music and your knowledge of the music industry as a whole into how you wanted to progress as an artist?
Well, when I started rapping, no one was paying attention to us. And at the same time, I was in the high school newspaper, and I jumped from that to interviewing rappers for The Source and Vibe and Double XL. This was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And once you get into that world, it's not too hard to get into the PR world, because in the journalism world, you are bugging the editors to give you jobs. And then in the PR world, you are bugging editors to listen to your artist's music. So it's the same relationships, you know? Yeah. So a lot of people go from journalism to PR. And if they are also artists who are trying to get their stuff looked at too, then you're just killing a few birds with one stone.
Exactly. So you line them up literally to take advantage of everything you could because of the background that you were coming from as well, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it was a way to make money because my friends needed PR, and it was a way to get famous because I needed it.
Now that brings me to my next thing of collaborations, which you are massive on. I mean, I don't think I know anybody that has actually collaborated anywhere near the way you have. It's not just let's send each other beats and it's let me come to your country and, you know, post up at yours and let's make a fucking album. Like, that amount of trust in another artist, you know. Speak to us a bit about, you know, that, especially the first time that you decided, you know what, I'm gonna get on a fucking plane and I'm gonna go see what's happening over here. Can you just that?
Well, I mean, Namibia started it. There wasn't a One Bag until I went to NAM, and I was just like I had a bad year in LA, and it was kind of like my quarter life crisis, you could say. And I just threw all my shit out the window, and I went to New York for a few months, thinking I was going to live there. But then that wasn't going to work out. So I was in New Orleans and Atlanta, and I was talking to Phil the whole time. Me and him were just Twitter friends, and he was just like, "Come on down," and I was like, "Okay." And I just booked the flight, and I came, and then I ended up returning 3 times, probably stayed a total of a year, you know, I had the time of my life. And I just realized that this was a unique way to see the world and make some unique music. And you know, it's hard to make music interesting these days, you know? Like, everyone's got a song. And like, just on an absolute level, there's so many more songs in the world than there's ever been now. And it's like anything in life. When you go from having 200 albums a year to like 200,000 albums that come out every year, like it's not as special anymore. Like, how could it be? You know, it's just economics. So what can you do to make your music a little different? And that was my answer.
No, and again, like, I mean, that was when I met you, when you came down, and you and Phil were working, and I was almost every day over at Phil's house while he was creating those beats of mine for my tape, which I still haven't finished, but that's a different story.
I mean, look, the album still isn't out. Like,
but it's building. We're building. You know what I mean? As long as we're still creating, I don't think it's like I
mean, I literally have 4 albums on private right now in my SoundCloud, mixed and mastered and ready. Like, there are 4 of them. Like, 4 albums, mixed and mastered, not semi-done. Completely
totally
mixed
complete.
And ready. And I'm just, you know, now it's just about me. I'm going back to the PR side of things and corralling all of my knowledge on how to break hip hop records and mixing it in with some big data analytics that I've learned, and just trying to create perfect campaigns. And then obviously I'll be utilizing them myself too. So that's the plan right now. And in a way, coronavirus has helped, because, like, you know, these are the kind of big plans that this is no time for them, you know, until something like this happens. And then everything stops and you're just like, all right, let's get it done.
We could have had this conversation years ago. But anyway, that brings me to my next point. You are one of the very few people that I know that on your journey of going along and creating music in these different countries, whether it's Cambodia, whether it's KL, or wherever you find yourself, you tend to also bring people into the fold of giving that knowledge transfer, you know, where you actually impart knowledge on how they can go about making. I mean, you did it with me when you were in NAM. We sat down and you were like, look, man, you want to make some money? Let me show you how to do some of this PR work. And in that, you introduced me to a whole nother view of this industry, you know, and I already got to see behind the curtain. But you didn't just stop there. I mean, Meta was with us. There were so many people, and then you took it to every other country that you went to. Is this something that you truly believe, like, in doing, or is it just coincidence that you're like, okay, I found myself here, I found some cool people, let me do it? Or is it that it's one of your...
You know, it turned into, you know, in the same way that PR was feeding me and my career, the One Bag project was feeding me and my career as well. Like it helped me make the music, but you know, I also need employees. You know, I need people to make this PR company grow. So when I was in NAM, I mean, when I was working with you and Meta, that was actually the second crew in NAM that I had. The first crew was, I went to the Polytechnic, I rented a room, and then I hired 4 college students, and we were in there for like 4 months working. So, you know, after NAM blew up in my face, I went to Malaysia, and I hired a guy there too, and we were working, and I still have 2 employees in Malaysia that work remotely. And then Vietnam opened up. Now I have 2 floors, 20 staff. Like, I'm literally like,
And you built a studio. You built a music studio up there as well. I was like, what the hell?
Yes. So, this is like, it's always killing a few birds with one stone. Always taking care of the music and always taking care of the money.
And that just to touch a little bit on the Namibia blowing up in your face. You were wild, man. That was the wildest story I ever heard of. I won't go into detail, but I will say,
I still haven't even told that story yet. There's only a couple people that have heard that one in detail. Again, like, it's just, people. All my friends are still putting out mad music, like every year, every month. Mm-hmm. And they come to me to promote it. And I'm happy to help them. But only a few of them notice that I haven't put out anything in years. And occasionally they go, well, what's wrong with you, man? Why you ain't putting nothing out? And I'm like, because you put out something every year and it does dick. It goes nowhere and it does nothing. so like, if you insist on going out there and making the same mistake over and over again, I'm gonna help you as much as I can. But if you ask me, everyone here, and I mean everyone, needs to pump the brakes and analyze and think about how to do this smart. I mean, that's why I've taken a few years off, because there's just something's not working right now with the DIY approach of record and release and tell your friends and cross your fingers and hope for the best. Like, that's not working.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you on that. I think people need to really look at new models of how things are going to work, especially like after Corona. Like after Corona, everything's about to change a lot. And that said, I have a question for you, but it's one of these questions that aren't actually my questions. I got it from one of our creative adjacent individuals, and it's more around, how are you going? Okay, for you, it's very special because you already set up different places, as you just said. You still got employees in Vietnam and in different places that are still working remotely. But besides that business that we spoke of, are there other avenues that you're looking at or that you already have looked at of creating different streams of revenue for you, additional ones, during this global lockdown period of ours? Okay, yo. I got you back. It's the global. Oh, man.
Different streams. Nah, man. I mean, the PR thing could potentially be so huge that I don't really need to think about other streams right now. But I have been looking into importing masks.
Such an ass, dude.
I mean, Vietnam, like I'm sitting there, we were surrounded by manufacturers,
Yeah, no doubt.
So I've been looking into that, but it's very complicated and I'm a bit late to the party. There's a lot of guys running around here right now with this bright idea, who are calling the hospitals up and shit. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see about it. But nah. I mean, if I could create a product that would help all artists get ahead, I think that would be worth millions of dollars.
And that's one thing I've always admired about you. Look, you're not a person that's like, look, I don't need money at all ever, but it's not like the ultimate driving force behind why you do things. It seems like for you, it's more about the passion of getting the dream that you have in mind, like, realized. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, well, I mean, money is definitely part of the dream, but yeah. I mean, it drives me nuts, really, on a level. Like, this is something that keeps me up at night, and I mean, it kept me up last night. It's like, I got a big vision, and it's just got to get done. So yeah, it is about more than money.
And that's beautiful. I mean, do you and this is another point that I haven't even gone to my questions. Maybe let me first go to one of these questions. Otherwise, I'm just asking you off the cuff things. All right, here's one. It's actually the most important question that I have written down. And you got to take it seriously, right? Superheroes or supervillains? Which one? Why? And all these anti-heroes, Deadpool, they all fall under villains. So like, if you had to choose one category to ride with, would it be the heroes or the villains?
Heroes.
All right, why?
Because they're heroes.
That's some bullshit, dude.
What do you mean?
How can you just say because they're heroes?
What do you mean? Because they're good. They're strong and good. Who wants to run around with bad guys? I don't know.
I'm about that villain life, you know. Fucking heroes, man.
No, you're not. You're a teddy bear, bro. What are you talking about?
But I like supervillains. Supervillains are like more intricate. They got their backstories are better. Their whole arcs are better. Like fuck that shit, man. It's just like better stories.
Yeah, but you're a nice guy. You don't want you like to examine them, but you're not gonna run down. I don't need to be the villain. Yeah.
Plus, you know, everybody's a villain in somebody's story. You know, that's just how life works.
I don't buy it. You're a nice guy. You're a hero, bro. You're a hero.
All right. Let's speak about heroes for 1 second, right? So one of my heroes of all time, DJ Premier, when you released, I think it was Great Expectations in 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah. He co-signed that record. Was that like? How did that feel? Like when you got that co-sign, and it was like, yo, Premier's like, this is, you know, what up?
I mean, it was great.
What was your initial reaction?
Well, you know, it doesn't count for a ton in the big scheme of things. I mean, all due respect to Primo, but I mean, like, it's, you know, he just played a record on the radio, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, it didn't change a whole lot for me, but it told me that, like, you know, one thing that you have to learn when you're making hip hop music is your mix and your master and your elements, you know, and your beat and your drums. And like, you know, when I'm listening to my early stuff, it's like, nah, them shits wasn't right. But like, when you listen to a record like Bed Bugs, which Phil made, and then you listen to the mix and the master, and then Primo puts it in the mix before like Jigga, you know, and after Biggie, and it flows, like, you know that your sound is on point, you know?
Yeah.
And that is something that, like, it's such a big factor, you know. Getting your sound on point is such a big part of the game. Such a big part of the formula.
Speaking about the game, you know, and because you've literally lived different parts of different sectors of the industry, as people would call it, what would you say, and I mean not just to up and coming rappers, but up and coming creatives that are moving through some of these, you know, different industries? What if you could give them one piece of advice, just one piece of advice? What would it be? From all your experience.
It would be to be consistent. Like, I know that it doesn't sound, I know that it goes against my previous advice of, you know, stop. Mm-hmm. But like, once you stop and you analyze and you learn what you want to do and how you want to do it, you have to keep doing it. Yeah. You know, like, guys will drop some shit in January and then they come back and drop some shit in June, you know, and you've lost all the momentum. It's gone, you know? Mm-hmm. So you have to be consistent, you know, like, one principle of marketing is that people need to see your name in like 3 places, and then it clicks for them. You know, they got to hear about you from their friend, they got to see you in their feed, and, you know, like one other place, and then they're like, okay, this is a person that I need to pay some attention to, you know. So you have to work to create that wall of activity around your audience. So just be consistent and find a team, find people that are also serious and cooperate, you know. And if you can't, then you're better off alone. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, instead of getting fake people in just to surround yourself with, rather just
like I got friends who are just rappers, and it took me a long time to accept that. They're just rappers. They're not gonna be marketing guys. They're not gonna take the song you're on and
push it.
Get a bunch of other people looking at it. Like that's just not what they're gonna do. They're just gonna drop a dope verse, and then that's it. That's the end of it. So, once you understand that, then you can move a lot easier.
Got you. Now, since you've been like around the world, and you've got this constant theme of one bag. What would you say are 5 things, all right, besides, of course, underwear, socks, toothbrush, and whatnot? I'm talking about like 5 additional things that you need to take with you when you go to another country, when you are on your move. Just 5 of them. What are they?
Well, it's always good to have spare passport shots because sometimes you need to fill out for a visa on the spot. Mm-hmm. And they want photos. You have to attach it to the visa. Yeah. So that's a good one. I mean, nowadays you want those wipes. You want those. You want to wipe your seat down. That's important. And really, like the most important thing is what you don't carry. Like, don't fuck up and have a bag of weed in there or something. Like,
I knew you were gonna go that way.
No, that's the worst. Like, I mean, every time I'm in customs or something and I put my bag through, I'm like, oh man, please don't let there be anything weird in there. And knock on wood, nothing yet. But yeah, the vastly most important thing is what you don't take.
Got you. So what was your favorite place out of all of them, that you touched down in? And I mean, I guess you love things about different parts of
Namibia.
Just straight up and down there.
Straight up and down.
There we go. That's what it is. We love having you. We'll make you an honorary student, like citizen. Don't worry, we got you. We'll sell you off to some. We're gonna marry you off to somebody, bro. We'll go marry you off to somebody. Don't worry. Okay, get your green card, baby.
It's been 5 years since I got thrown out of there, so I figured.
Now you can come back now.
Yeah, I think so. Well, let's just see. When the world stops ending, let's see what's good.
Yeah. As I call it, PC, post Corona. That's where we're gonna be at. Post Corona, PC time. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be different though. I don't think anybody's ready for it. And then so now that you can't, for the foreseeable future, for now, you won't be able to be moving around and doing the one bag and being in different places to be able to make music with different artists. Is there another medium that you're thinking of using just to collaborate and work with people?
No, not really. I mean, like, I made the albums and I haven't released them yet. And I've got the footage and I've got the story and I'm still recording. And it's time to start rolling all this shit out, really. So it's kind of good that I'm grounded for a bit because now it's time to drop. It's
all work. It's all full steam ahead. Everything
time to drop, baby.
Now, you are a rapper, but you're also a DJ, a very good DJ at that. And I love the fact that you never play like the standard records that everybody's out there playing. When you DJ, it's about let's have some real fucking fun, not be pretentious and stand in a corner type of DJ. Now,
yeah, well, I had a lot of fun at JoJo's. We were doing the Walkabout event. That was one of my favorites.
That was fun.
It was cool because it wasn't like a club nighttime slot. So people didn't come there, trying to dance and then getting pissed off when I don't play dance records, Like it was an evening thing. So they just came to sit down and have a drink and actually listen,
Yeah.
And that's what I do, I don't necessarily play dance music. I play shit that you actually want to like listen to. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I try to DJ everywhere I go. I was doing some stuff in Vietnam too. I haven't DJed in LA lately, but Yeah, I mean, I'm always looking for new stuff, partially because I like to sample, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't make a lot of my own beats. I do occasionally, but what I normally do instead is I find old tracks and I give them to my producers. You know, I have a Google Drive, and I have like, at any one time, I got like, 50, 60 old tunes on there, and my guys all have the link. Okay. And I just say, hey, do what you want with it and send it to me. And, for instance, there's one song that maybe one guy made a beat out of and another guy made 2 beats out of, okay, and they'll give me first dibs on them. And if I don't like them, then they can do whatever they want with them, you know what I mean? But, a lot of the beats that you hear me on are beats that like I found the source sample.
And then had people.
Those are the same records that I play out when I'm DJing.
Which is another thing. You tend to play not just obscure records that, people will be like, have to sit down and think and be like, damn, not only is it a good song, but like, I want to know who the fuck the artist is because I don't know who it is. But at the same time, you do tend to also just pop in your own ones, every now and then, just to give that people that Malkovich in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you were in Namibia, there was a lot of, we did a lot of partying. Let's not lie. We were partying a lot. But at the same time, there was a lot of work that was going on. How are you finding, like, throughout more and more of your travels as you continue on this journey, how are you finding that balance of, being able to still keep up with how you want to be out there partying when you do want to party and doing the work when it needs to get done? Are you finding it difficult?
I party less now, like, NAM is a hell of a place to party, and when you're coming down off that, like, there's not really, too much else to do, really. Like, since I lived in NAM, I lived in New York for about a year, which is definitely a place to party, and I was doing it. And then I lived in, Malaysia and Vietnam and Southeast Asia. It is a place to party, but I don't particularly enjoy it. They just, they're not hip hop people. They don't like hip hop like that,
Yeah.
And if you're a tourist and you come with your friends, you're partying great. But if you live there, you're not hanging out with tourists. You're hanging out with the locals. And the locals, they like to drink coffee and eat, and they're not really partying like that. Yeah. So it's different, but necessary. Like, I always said that there's Namibia and there's Vietnam. It's the 2 Nams, and to me they're totally opposite. Like, Namibia was all the party, all the friendship, but like ultimately business couldn't get done on the level that I wanted it to get done. And then Vietnam is a total flip. It's a total opposite. Like, I can't party like that. I don't have so many friends, but business is getting handled. So, it's all about phases.
Yeah, no, and I think doing that and moving from place to place like that, it helps you grow so much. I mean, you could probably write 20 books right now on like the past 4 years, just like that.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm working on one. It's just a journal, but it's gigantic, and I'd say in about 10 years. It'll be one book.
Okay. We're looking forward to that one, that's for sure. Now, since you've been back in LA, have you been reconnecting with a lot of the people that, like, your old peeps that you used to kick it with or work with, or are you doing it, or has it been more new people that you've been connecting with?
I was. As soon as I got back here, I was like, okay, we need to get in the studio, because for the last couple of years in Vietnam, I've been recording, but it's been me completely alone. Like, people send me beats and I rap to them, and then I write to them, and it's all me, nobody else. And like, after a while, you're just like, man, like, this sucks. Like, it's nice to rap with your friends. It's nice to create things with other people.
Yeah.
So, I just started paying for studio sessions at my boy's studio, and I just started calling in a lot of other guys, like, like usual collaborators, but then like people a little bit outside of the circle. But but like all people who know me, that was the rule. Like I've been spearheading these sessions, and I think I even sent you guys some beats.
Yeah. We're working on them.
and I was just like, you know, I want to make a bunch of songs. Maybe it'll be an album, maybe not. Maybe I'll just end up with like 20 posse cuts, you know. But the rule is that I have to know everyone personally. I don't. You know, my friend was like, "Hey, we can get so and so on the record," and I'm like, "I don't know him. I don't want him on the record." You know, like I need people that I know. So, you know, we got a song. I got a couple songs out of those sessions with Fat Lip from the Far Side. I got a couple of songs from those sessions with Mike and Nine from Freestyle Fellowship, Merce from Living Legends, Quelle Chris, and about 10 or 15 of the other usual suspects. So those sessions were going really well until Corona. So now it's just a total email job, you know, like I got another Google Drive, which is all beats, and those go to all the rappers, and they're just like, okay, I like that one, I like this one, and then they write their 16 and they send it to me, and then I just put these tracks together in Pro Tools. And then when everyone else has gone on the beat, then I come in last.
You see, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, I always tell people, like, can you send me, like, finish your shit off? Don't tell me, do your verse. Do what verse? Like, can you finish your shit so I can know how it ends? Because I'm always at the end of the track, so finish your shit, bro. I need to know how to end it.
Nope. I let you finish the shit, because then I know exactly what moves you guys are gonna pull, and I can do something completely different.
I got you. Doing that research. Research while you go.
Yeah, bro. That's the science. Let everyone else go first, and then you can expertly figure out how you're gonna come in and be unique and different.
So just to move on with it. So wait, let me look back at my. Nah, I don't want to ask you. Oh yeah, there's one question I do want to ask you. One more from these questions. Is there one from all of the opportunities that have come your way throughout your creative journey? What's the one opportunity you didn't take that you wish you really would have taken?
I think I wish that before I left LA, I think I wish I would have done a little less DJing, a little more rapping. Like I started getting heavy into the DJing. I was DJing 3-4 nights a week and partying and drinking. And, you know, if you want to be a rapper, if you want to get serious, there's only one way to do it. And it's to go in and go hard. Life is time. Life is 24 hours in a day. If you're spending 1 hour a day on rap, then I'm sorry, but you're not a rapper.
Yeah, no, it's not going to work out.
Like you're competing with people who are, you know, putting their whole life into this, and you're going to lose. And I lost. So that was part of the reason why I got all depressed and left LA, because, you know, I didn't really have anyone to blame but myself in that respect, you know? So, you know, I think I made up for it somewhat. You know, I made lemonade out of lemons, but yeah, I mean, if you want to be a rapper, then you got to go in. You got to go all the way in.
I would say, I mean, you got 4 albums that are just waiting. They're done. That kind of says you went in, bro. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I mean, I still might be able to turn this thing around. You know?
I'm saying, man, of course.
but the fact is if you want to be something, then you got to be it. You know,
you got to jump off the cliff, and that's it seems to be a recurring theme. Is no matter which industry of creative I speak to, you gotta take the opportunities that come your way. You gotta jump off the cliff and be like, look, I don't know if it's gonna work. It might suck, might not, but let me try.
The word is commitment.
There we go. You know, and in saying that, because I know it's one of your, I know some of your pet peeves, but for people out there that don't know Malkovich that well, what is one of the things that really like pisses you off? I'm talking about really grinds your gears down to the point where you're like, fuck, but you don't really express it. And you're a very expressive person. So is there one that you just like, you know what, this is the one that I'll just let slide whenever people do it?
Nah, you know, like I learned not to let people bother me, you know? Like I was, you know, I started a crew in the late 90s and the early 2000s, you know, and we had broken up by like 2005. And, you know, those are the really wild years, and those are the years where I learned the lessons, you know, like there are some people in the crew that I love them all, and they were brothers, but they were in a bad place. They were my brothers, but they were in a bad place. And, you know, they took me for granted in a lot of ways, and they kind of, you know, abused me in a lot of ways. And I learned a lot from that, and it never happened again. Like I know who to surround myself with, and everyone knows how I roll, and I just don't have problems with people anymore. Like it just doesn't happen, you know? Like the only thing that pisses me off these days is myself. You know, like I'm only critical of myself. That's it.
All right, I get you. I mean, and which is truly the only person you have control over is yourself, and that's whose actions you can control. And speaking of actions, dude, I still want to give you mad props for coming through when I was in Malaysia and doing that poetry set.
Oh man!
You just randomly showed up and was like, "Yo, I'm fucking here, bro." Like that was madness. I was like, "What the fuck, bro? Like, aren't you in another country? How'd you even get here?" Like that in itself. Like, how long were you even in Malaysia for that time?
I've lived in Malaysia on and off for a total of a year, but it was always in the north, in Penang, you know. We were always in KL.
Yeah. Oh man, that place. I need to go back to KL, bro. Like that, the food, the pot. Anyway, that's another story. Let's not delve too deeply into that one. But James, I would love to say thank you for coming through from the jump, giving people a little bit of knowledge and insight to the, you know, behind the scenes and how some of these things actually work, and not just, oh, here's a CD, here's a dope track, and I hope you like it. But could you please plug yourself, like shamelessly right now, like let people know where they can get at your music, where they can find out about you and your moves.
Go on Google, Instagram, Twitter, and type in #1BAG. #1BAG. You'll find me.
Blessings, my brother. Thank you for coming through for us, and stay safe out there. I really do hope you're able to get back to the grind, because I know you love traveling. Being in one place is not really you. Nothing more than an ill-conceived fantasy. You see, I constantly think about one, yet seem to dream about another, making it almost impossible to visualize myself being